Oh, hey guys, welcome to the channel, welcome to my stream and yet another chapter working on this guy right here, our Tamiya heavy duty dump truck. Let's have a look, okay? Nearing the end of the build. I'm going to say nearing the end because it's not quite done, but we're getting there, right? You guys saw last time I was just starting to finish off on their steering linkage, and you saw me put the one link together. I've got all three done. Bing, bing, bing. We've got our nice little rods there. Okay, those are going to go in, but we're going to backtrack. Okay, I'm going to backtrack a little bit because now that I've got all the suspension. Let me grab this guy here. Now that I've got all the suspension in, I think it's time we put the motor on it. Okay, so I think it's about time we get this motor in, and we're going to do that today. And I mean, the motor really is only 2 screws. It's only going to take a minute. I'll switch the camera so we can just have a good close look at it. Okay, so we're back here. As you guys know, I've mentioned before, I'm using a Hobby Wing Easy Run 3665. That's a 2400 kilovolt. Okay, brushless motor. This little baby right here. Remember this guy from like part 1, I believe it was. Do that. Put him back down there. Now let's go back in the instructions to where we go to put the motor in. Okay, where they wanted me to actually install it a long time ago, a couple of pages back. Right here. Okay, so we got to get 2 MA1 screws. That's these long guys here. Okay, and they want us to put a little bit of oil on the actual tooth of the gears. Okay, so let's grab this, and we got to find our MA1 screws. That's from our, I believe that is these ones. Where is my tweezers? Where are my tweezers? This guy here, I believe it is. Let's put the motor here. Match it up here. Bingo. Yep, it's that screw right there. We're going to double check and make sure it's actually going to thread in on the motor. Let's line up a couple of holes here. These motors usually have multiple holes going around them, so you can line them up in different spots depending on what angle you want. So let's just choose those and have a look. See if that threads in perfectly. Okay, all right, so that's going to be the kind of a challenge, is getting this gasket lined up with the holes when we put the motor on. That's going to be the challenge, because we're going to put the screws through the chassis and then put the motor up against it. So let's put some grease on our gear, just like they're saying, like they want us to. There we go. So that's all greased up. Okay, let's just put this here like this. Okay, we'll grab our other screw and we'll get this out of the way. So I've got a 20 tooth gear on there, so I want to put the screws through on the 20 marks, and that's going to be right here and right here. Now kind of want to do one at a time, because holding them all in there as I hold it like this, when I get that motor lined up with the gasket, that's going to be a bit of a challenge, right? So my only thing I want to do at this point is just get the thread started on it. That's the only thing I want to do, and this is a bit of a challenge, right? It is just the way it is. So the screw is in there. We want to decide at what point, at what position do we want all our wires coming off. Ideally, I'd like to have them going straight up, if that's possible. So we're going to try for something like this, with that lined up like that. Something similar. That may be easier said than done, but let's That's what we're going to try for. Another thing you could do is maybe put a little dab of grease just on the back of the gasket so that it'll stick to the motor. That's always a possibility. I'm going to try and get this lined up there just with my eye. I got to take my glasses off because I got to get in close. Sorry if you guys can't really tell what I'm doing. It's more important that I see what I'm doing than you. In fact, this gasket is going to pose a problem for me. So I am going to put a little bit, dab of grease on there. Just a little dab. So the gasket's got a little something to stick to, just a tiny little bit. Maybe that'll help it stick. Maybe. It helps a little bit. Not much, but a little tiny bit. Of course, it's not the hole I want it lined up on. Okay. Okay, let's try that. I'm actually going to do something. I need some light, so I'm going to grab my phone here and use the flashlight function on my phone. This is a challenge. So let's try something different. Let's try going this way. I can get that gasket lined up on that screw on its own. Flashlight is just in my eyes and not really helping me now. Gasket's lined up. Now I just need to line up the motor. Find one of those holes. There we go. Okay. Now all I want to do thread started on that. That did not get started. Still not started, so what's going on here? There, we got this started. Alright, second screw. Second screw goes in the other 20 hole. Feels like we're already there. We're lined up. Maybe not. I think I'm not lined up with the gasket. Oh, maybe I am. I cannot move this. I think I got it. I think I accidentally got it. Okay, let's grab my proper screwdriver. Okay. tight. Nice and tight. Okay, double check, make sure everything's lined up. Looks like it. Motor's in there solid. Okay, now doing that has now made it so that my wheels don't really spin all that much. Yeah, my diffs work, but as for actually turning, well, not so much anymore. But we can still test it. How? Well, we can put something into our little pin, our little axles there, and try and turn it. And eventually, it'll turn. That is a tight motor though. Okay. So we're just going to leave it like that for now. Okay. So, there's our wires. They're going to be getting in the way, and that's why I waited until now. Okay. These wires all flopping around is why I wanted to wait until later before actually putting them in, putting the motor on. Okay. Now, of course, there's all these options. You could have the wires facing out this way. Whatever way is going to work for you best, it's going to be how you mount that motor and in what direction you got these wires. I chose this way because I want the wires facing up rather than down, right? Just for, well, maybe a little bit of aesthetics and a little bit of making sure it's all going to work. Okay, so let's flip back. Let's continue on. We have to backtrack to get the motor in. That's all right. Let's go back to our steering. Okay, and I'll put this aside. Now this guy's nice and heavy. So I will flip the camera back and we'll go back. Okay. All right. Back to our steering. We've got this assembled now. Okay. That's all done. Bingo. Now we're going to put this in the truck. So I'm going to flip this over. And we're going to grab our MC12. Remember last time I was trying to figure out which one was 11 and which one was 12? So we need MC12. Where did it go? Right here. This guy here. We need that. And we're going to need an MC3 screw, which is this guy here. So it's a machine screw. I believe this might be it. Nope. Much longer than that. It's a long machine screw, like this guy maybe. That'll be it right there. Okay. That guy there. Okay. So this guy, we have it in this position, okay, is going to go into the middle like this. So we're going to have, let's see, do we have this right? No. We want it this way. No, we do want it this way. We want these two like this and this guy going through like so. Okay. Now why do you want it like this? You want to make sure this one is on this side because this is the side of the truck that the servo is going to go on, right? So we're going to put it through. We want to line this hole up with this one. Okay. It's a little bit of a tight fit, but not really. There we go. We're in. And we're going to put our big MC12 shaft down inside there. When you got it lined up, it'll fit all the way down in like that. And in fact, it'll go deep. It's going to go deep down in there, like this. Okay? You want it going deep in there. All the way down. As far down as it'll go. Why? Because we're going to take our MC3 screw right through here. Like that. Over top of it. Okay? See, it's got to be pushed down far enough so that you can put that screw all the way through there like that. That's going to prevent that pin from coming out. And then we just tighten this up. Here we go, almost. Okay, we're tight. There we go. So we've got that in there. So that should be got nice, lots of freedom to move back and forth. Can you guess where these go? How about onto these? Dink and doink, just like that. Shows you in the instructions here. One on each one. Okay, this is where I'm going to get use of my pliers again. I'm going to open these up an extra notch. And just like that, there's one. Turn this around. And this one on here. Do it like this. Like that. And there we go. Okay. So we've got our steering in. I'm going to put my wires through here. Just so that they're not dangling everywhere on me. Just so they're tucked out of the way. There. There. Now they won't be flopping around so much. Okay, flip our page. We're finished on this page. Remember last time we did the servo? That's all ready to go. Bingo, that guy's done. Okay. Flip the page over, and lo and behold, we are to mount the servo. We're going to mount our servo now. Okay, we're going to need 2 of the MA2 screws. So let's grab a couple of those. My tweezers. 2 MA2s. There's one, and there's another one. Do we need any washers or anything? Nope, don't need anything. Okay. This is where the correct screwdriver is going to come into play for you. Okay. Because see this little channel through here? You need to actually put your screwdriver through there and tighten it up the screw. And so that's going to be hard to do if you're not using one of these kind of screwdrivers, right? Something like this, yeah, you're screwed. You can't get in there, right? So you need something like that. Maybe you could get away with one of these kind. No, not quite. I'm not far enough to be able to tighten up the screw. This part's too fat, right? So yeah, you're a little bit restricted on what kind of screw you're going to use. So one's going to go in here, okay, one right there and one right there. This one is where it gives you some adjustment depending on what size your servo is, and you can do that. That's what they do for you there. So this screw, I'm just going to drop in right there, and it's going to go here like this. Make sure it goes all the way through. A servo is going to mount with this facing forward towards the front of the truck. Just line that up, and we'll get that started through there. A few threads. I don't want to get it super tight yet because I want to leave myself some room for movement. Okay, get that out. I'll get the second one lined up in here. Of course, over here to me is giving you a nice little slot to slide your screwdriver through. Get this one tight. Okay, again, it's a little bit loose, that's all right. Tighten this one up now. There we go. This one. All right, servo's tight, just like that. And then we take our third arm here, and it's going to go on there like this. Okay. This over. Okay. Now I got this big servo wire hanging out everywhere. So this third arm here, that's going to go right here on the servo. Just like that. Now our steering is locked into place on the servo. See, trying to force the wheel actually moves the servo. That's the beauty of it, right? You don't want it to really do anything crazy, right? And that's also what a servo saver is all about. Okay, so there we go. That's that. Now, next in the steps is putting our battery cover on and putting in some double-sided tape. Okay, which it's not double-sided tape, it's foam tape. And I actually don't have any up here with me. I do have my battery cover. This is the battery cover. Okay, it hooks in back here. Oh, look at that. I have a problem. Because of my aluminum shock tower, I can't put that in here. I have to remove the shock tower and to put that in, which is fine anyway, because I need to remove these screws to put the wheelie bar on, since I want to put the wheelie bar on upside down anyway. So let's remove our shock tower so that I can put my battery cover in. So the battery cover's got to go in here like this and go down on top like this. I'll show you on my other chassis. I'll show you on the spare. Okay. So here's the chassis that comes in the kit. Okay. Same thing exactly. Your battery cover is going to go into this little slot here, like this, and then go down, and then go down like that. And then you can put a couple of pins in there and have that closed. Okay. Obviously I need to remove my little cover to get at this. So I am going to grab my drill just so I can remove the screws a little faster. Just so we can remove them faster. Of course, it's magnetized. Okay. Just give me enough play to put it in there. Maybe. I think so. Nope. Okay. The screw's gonna come out. There we go. Just like that. Okay. So I'm just going to leave this like that for now. I want to do a little test fit. See, now I've got a problem here, because now this can only go up that far, which I guess for the most part is going to be fine, but I want to do a test fit on my battery. So let's pull my wires back up here. I got to do a test fit on my battery. So let's pull this one out first. Okay, let's grab my battery. You guys remember my battery from before? It's the Traxxas LiPo. So if I slide that in, that should fit down. It fits perfectly. But you see you got some slop. And that's alright, because that's what the foam tape is all about. So the fact I can do this and I can get the battery out, I'm okay with that. So we can put our wheelie bar on. Now, like I said before, the wheelie bar in the instructions, it shows you to put the wheelie bar on in this fashion, so it's facing up. I want to put it the opposite way and have it facing down. I want to limit the amount of wheelie that this thing can do, because I'm already going to have lots of wheelie action available to me due to the power of this thing. So what I need to do is get these off here so I can move my instruction booklet a little bit, because I need to work with this a little bit here. Take this screw out, put it in through here, line it up. There's one. Two. Tighten it up a little bit. There we go. Okay, so my first problem is it's hitting, the wheelie bar is hitting our arms here. So if I just kind of force it down on there, it's not going to line up. So I gotta cut away a little bit on these, on the bottom of this. Not a problem. So that's something Tamiya has done already on the other side. And I'll show you in a sec here what I'm talking about. I'll show you what I'm talking about here. Okay, let's put this down. When you look at the shape here, this is notched out, but this side's not. So that's Tamiya's way of telling you they want this on the bottom. So the wheelie bar is facing like this and not down. But I can notch that out myself with a Dremel. So I'm going to grab my Dremel. And we're going to customize it. Grab my Dremel, and I'm basically just going to kind of Dremel away a notch similar to this, but on the bottom here. Okay, this might be a little bit loud for you guys, so I apologize. Okay, so with that done, I'm going to do a test fit and see how that fits there. Just about perfect. I think that's good enough. So I'll do it again on this side. Okay, do a test fit again. Whoops. Do a test fit again. think we're good. We are good. Golden. Okay, let's get this out of the way. All right. So let's take a knife and clean that up a little bit, just so it's not such a sharp edge. Okay, this plastic, of course, is pretty soft. Might not have even needed the Dremel. I probably could have carved it with a knife, but hindsight being 20/20, of course. That's all right. Okay, let's get this back on here. Line up a screw. Okay. Okay, this one. Let's make sure my suspension is working. Yep. Go. All right. It's tightened up. You don't want to over tighten these because you are going into plastic after all. So you just want to make sure it's tight. Hand tight is more than enough. You don't need to go any more than that. Okay, so there we have our wheelie bar on, and that's going to permanently put this into a place. This cannot come off now. I'm never going to lose a battery tray unless it breaks. That's the only way that's going to come out. Okay, my servo wire is so long, I don't need it nearly that long. Servo's receiver is going to go up on top there. They show in the instructions here. We've got our pins that are going to go in. We've got some foam tape that's going to go in on the inside of our battery tray, and on the bottom, underneath of this. Also, we're going to put some foam tape, and then we're going to mount our receiver and our speed control. How do you mount the receiver and the speed control? Well, you use double-sided tape. Okay, I got a roll of that stuff right here. Bingo, double-sided tape. Okay, I'm actually going to change the camera real quick here. We'll go back so you can have a look at what I'm doing. Okay, so let's change the camera. Okay, hi. All right, so I have my Traxxas receiver. This is the 6533. Very simple 4-channel receiver. I think it's a 4-channel. 5-channel. It's actually a 5-channel. So you could do extra accessory stuff if you wanted. Of course, we only have 2 channels, steering and throttle, and that's all there is to it. Typical car. There are other kits, some cars that might have 3 channels. Maybe you've got a truck that's got 4-wheel steering, and you can actually set the rear steering separately. It's your individual needs may vary. Here's our receiver. Okay, here's our little antenna. This guy here. Now normally, you know, old school RC cars, you need to have this sticking up somewhere in some kind of a antenna type fashion to get the range that you need. You don't really need to with modern ones. You can still do it if you want, but you don't really need to anymore. This comes with some double-sided tape. So just peel off one side here, and we'll stick that to the bottom here. Line that up. There we go. Just press that down nice. There we go. She's ready to be installed in whatever position on this plate that I want, wherever I want it. Okay, we're going to have this going in here, doink, and channel 2, because that's steering. Channel 1 is throttle. They do mark it on here. Let's see. One is for the battery. We want VT, or I believe channel 2 is steering. We got 2 channel 1s. Sometimes you got 2 motors, right? We have instructions here. This should tell me exactly what I'm supposed to be putting it in. I don't have my transmitter with me because I don't have anything. I'm not planning on hooking anything up. Okay. Related parts list. This is the Traxxas TQI. This doesn't actually tell me how I'm supposed to set it up. Just show me how to bind it. They should give me some troubleshooting. But they don't tell me which is channel 1 and channel 2. That's wonderful. That's great. We'll worry about that in a minute. So where's our receiver? Or not receiver. Speed control. It's the Hobby Wing Easy Run Max 10. Okay, this guy here. Okay, Easy Run Max 10 speed control. This little guy right here. This guy is also going to go onto our plate here. As you can see, I've got this cable here that's going to go to the motor. Let me move this out of the way for a moment. Okay. We have our different cables coming out of the motor. We're going to line up our colors. Orange. Goes in like that. Yellow in the middle. And then blue. And we have a fourth one, and that's going to go to this. Once you get it lined up, it should go in. Oh, I had it. There we go. Okay. So you can't really shorten your motor wires, right? But you do want to have it kind of in such a way that you got some movement, you got stuff like that. And we have also our power button. Okay, so I think that's a good spot right there for the motor, or for the speed control. And then I'll put the receiver like right here, or maybe like this, and then I'll put the power. Where am I going to put my power button? I could put my power button here, right in front of it. That's an option. Or I could put it on the side of the chassis. No, I don't want it to the side. I think right there will work. Just do this. That might work like that. Okay. So, then we have this. Again, super long, longer than I need. This will go into channel 1, I believe. I believe this goes into channel 1 like that. steering servo goes into channel 2. Like that. Now you can tidy these up. You can curl them up into a nice tidy little coil, which I'll do in a little bit. Those are going to go on like that. Okay. But what we're going to do for now is move on. This is the electronics part. I'm going to take these apart just so I don't have everything flopping around on me. Okay. That's how this is all going to go. So I'll do all that off camera and get this all set on there. So you guys don't have to worry about that, okay? I'll set that down. In the instructions, after this is all done, flip over, put on our wheelie bar, which guess what we've already done, and then we're going to put on our body posts. But we have another set of instructions, because this is for mounting the Toyota body. We're going to see on the next page that we've got the Toyota body, but we don't have that body. Okay, shows us how to put our tires together. We've already done that. We've got to put our bearings in, and we got MC13 needs to be put in. Okay, we got some grease we've got to put in. Normally they would put the grease in the bearings and the bushings. We don't need the grease on the bushings because we've got real bearings in there. And we're going to install our front bumper. Okay, so let's put our wheels on and put our front bumper on. Let's do that, okay? So I need to get MC13, which are these little pins. I believe those, let me show you if I can find those guys. They're right here, these little silver pins. Remove this, okay? Out of the way. These little silver pins, okay, you need these. Should be 4 in here. There's 3, and there's the 4th one. Okay, and then they're going to tell you to use D4. This guy here, it's kind of a wheel spacer, similar to this. Okay, except D4, they're pretty wide. There's a couple of different sets that come in the kit. We're going to look for D4. I got to find my D. Remember I had trouble finding my D last time? Got this guy right there, D4. These guys are pretty thick. They're pretty wide. Okay. So, let's grab my nippers. Let's get these off of here. Okay. Now this all depends, depending on which spacer you use, is going to depend on how wide your wheel stance is. This is already wider than stock, right? Because these guys, the aluminum ones, the aluminum arms are actually wider. See where this would sit on the chassis, you can see our steering arms are longer. It actually sticks out quite a bit. Okay. But technically, looking at this, our wheelbase is going to be the same, even though the arms are longer. That's interesting. I didn't realize that. I figured there's going to be a wider stance, and I was wrong. Okay, so you see there's a hole there, and that's where a little silver pin is going to go in. That's going to go in right there like this. Okay. It's a lot easier if it's sitting horizontal. Okay, so we're going to take this nut off, get this horizontal, and we're going to take our wheel spacer. It's got 4 little notches in there to line up, and it kind of presses on pretty tight. Okay, so it kind of sits there. Just to make sure it doesn't fall off on me, I'm going to put the wheel nut on there. Okay. Now let's do the other side. Put this pin in here. Okay. Put this wheel nut on. There we go. It's a pretty tight fit over that little pin, but that's exactly what you want. Okay, let's do this side on the rear. Take it off here. This pin. Go. Put that nut back on. Oh, put the nut back on, please. There we go. Okay. And our last one. There we go. And press it in there. Here we go. And now you know what we're ready for. We're ready for the wheels. Our big monster truck type wheels. These guys, yeah. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? So pretty. I want to have my chevron stripes facing forward, so this being the front, we want this one on this side. Okay, so we're going to tip it up like this. On the back of the rim, we have our hex pattern to line up with our adapter. Should slide down on there when it's lined up. Now, because the wheel adapter is so wide, I actually have quite a bit making that wheel wide. Stick out pretty far. That's alright. Take our nut. It can be a little bit hard to get in there, but that's where a Tamiya tool comes in handy. Or if you happen to be like me and you have a socket wrench, you can do this. Put the nut in the end of your socket wrench, which really helps get in there. Okay, I'm going to hold this like that, hold that wheel so I can tighten up that lock nut. There we go. One tire's on. Okay, I'll move on to the next one. Grab another tire. Oh, wrong one. There we go. Get that lined up on there. There we go. Grab our wrench. There we go. 2 tires. Okay. Now, if you grab it and you turn both at the same time, you can feel how tight or how loose the motor is. Actually moving all 4 tires at the same time that way. Let's grab another tire. This one here is going to match. Take this nut off. lined up. Let's make sure I'm not pinching my cables. Okay. All right, one more to go. Fourth tire coming up. Oops. Let's just put him on his side there. There we go. Give me an extra hand here. And we'll tip him in there. There we go. All four tires on. The diffs are nice and smooth. Remember when I was worried that the front diff was really super stiff? Well, it's not. It loosened up on me. It's perfect. Nice. Okay, switch the camera. Now you get a better idea of just how big this guy is, or how small, depending on your perspective. It's basically equal to like a 12th scale. Now, one thing I was talking about before is how much this thing's going to wheelie. Even with the wheelie bar facing down, this thing can really wheelie and lift up that much, right? And that's quite a bit, right? So the suspension feels a little bit too soft in the rear. That's going to be fixed by these little adjustment guys. I can stiffen these up just by rotating these little rings, and I can stiffen the springs. I want to have it about the same, roughly. Okay. And already that's a little bit better. Ding 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 ding. Yeah. Okay. Things are going to change though. Add the weight of a battery into there, right? Now the back end's really sagging down, so I really need to stiffen up the back. I want the back to be stiffer than that. I don't want this thing sitting like this all the time, right? So, yeah, it's really kind of sitting with the back end sagging, so I got to stiffen up the back. We got to stiffen up the back. That's better. Now it's gonna. Yeah, a little bit more. A little bit more. You want to have about equal amounts on the rear, on left to right. That's better. That's a lot more bouncy. Front is nice and soft. The rear comes back pretty quick. All right, that's it. Let's move on to the body, right? Because we got some body stuff to do. We're almost done. We're almost done. Okay. So I'm going to put this aside for now, and I'm going to take the battery out of it. Okay. Put this down over here for now because we've got to work on the body. Okay. This part is basically finished. Oh, we got the bumper. The bumper is just simple enough. Okay, MC7 on the bumper. I'll show you the bumper. We've got to do the bumper. We've got to do it, right? We have to do the bumper. It's going to be held in by, I think, those screws. MC7 are a couple of longer, they're sort of stepped screws, similar to this, but they're longer than those ones. Just got to find them. I believe it's this one. Yeah, it's these guys, the two silver ones. like this. Okay. The bumper is also held on by a couple of big springs like this. Okay. And then you got your choice of bumpers. You can either do the really wide bumper or you can do the narrow one. Okay. The narrow one is cool. Now, if you look at the pictures of the actual truck, if you're using the dump truck body, the big wide bumper, like look at this picture right here. This picture here. You've got the big wide bumper, right? But I'm not. Here's a bit of a secret. I'm not actually using the truck body. I'm not going to do the dump truck body on this guy. I'm going to do the body of a Wild Willie. Okay. And yeah. So I want to use the shorter bumper. So I got to find it. There's a shorter bumper. Okay. I want the shorter one on there. Just because. Now, of course, if you don't like the shorter bumper, put the longer bumper on. Right? Got the longer one here, right too. Right too? Yeah. So, I'll just clean up my nubs on this. Okay. Going to be facing down anyway, so you're just going to see the top. Okay. This is going to go on like that. It's like that. And like that. You kind of press on and they're kind of stiff and tough. Yep. Just like that. Okay. And it goes onto these bigger ones. Okay. So all you do, sorry, now that I've got this like that, okay, this guy's going to go on like that, just like that. I'm going to take your screws, drop that down in there, start tightening. Now you're going to have to get that screw lined up. Now you don't have to do it super tight, but I want to make sure the threads are all the way in there. So basically I'm looking through the top of the spring. I'm looking through the spring so I can see the threads, and once the threads have disappeared into that, that's when I've done. You can do it more if you want. I don't think it's really necessary. But I think that's good. There you go. Bumper's installed. It gives it some spring, and it's so if you ever do crash on anything, you've got some spring protection. Protects her. Obviously the wider bumper will give you more protection on the front for running into things. I don't plan on really running into a lot of stuff, so I think this bumper's good enough. Okay. So the bumper's on. The actual assembly of all of this stuff, that's complete. This is done. There's nothing more to put on this other than the electronics. The actual assembly of this is finished, other than body posts. Okay, the body posts are going to differ depending on what body you're putting on it. If you're putting the dump truck body on it, then you need to refer to these instructions. Okay, these come with the kit, comes with the body. If you bought the Toyota version and the thing's all black and you've built the Toyota, well, there's not much. And then you're going to put different body posts, which are based on this book. This book is based on the Toyota, and you would use those body posts. Okay, simple as that. But we're going to build the dump truck body simply because this is the dump truck, and I've got it. And I'm showing you how to build the dump truck, so I'll show you how to build the dump truck. And of course, I'm learning too, so there we go. Okay, so there's nothing to do with the big actual dump, there's nothing to do with this except put your decals on, right? Decals that go on the front here and there and there. There's nothing to do. A lot of cleanup. They've got nub marks on this thing to clean them all up, so to do all the way around on this thing. Okay, so that's that. It's nothing to do with this really. Okay, but we have our other dump truck body parts. I think basically it's just this bag is the body parts. So let's look at this bag. Holy screws, staples out. Now of course there's all the painting that you can do on this and stuff like that. You can do all the details. Okay. For example, the exhaust, they want you to paint those flat black. We've got decals for the windows, or you could paint them, whatever you like. And then we've got these funky little parts that go together too. So let's see. I'll take this off the sprue and we'll see how we do. How do we actually get the dump truck body on there? Okay, there's that. We're going to need this. This. I'm not going to mount anything permanently because, as I said, I'm not going to be using this body. I'm going to be putting a Wild Willie 2 body on this guy. Okay, so there's this sprue's garbage. Okay, so let's refer to our instructions and see what we're supposed to do here. Okay, switch the camera so we can see what we're doing. Okay, so it looks like we're supposed to take this guy upside down here and take these, and we're going to put them through, looks like this way. No, this. We're supposed to put a couple of O-rings. 3mm O-rings. I saw O-rings. That's one. Must be these guys here. Looks like only on the inside. Like that. Another one in here, right there. And it looks like we're just going through here, like this. Like that. That's what it looks like we're doing. You'll see the O-rings give it a little bit of resistance, so it's not flopping. Okay. Then you're going to use some screws, and we're going to attach these guys. So they show us doing this with lock nuts, washers, and some 3x10 screws. But they're not showing, like Tamiya normally does in their stuff. They're not showing us the exact screws and nuts and everything to use. So I'm going to have to kind of guess a little bit, possibly from this bin. They're going to be these, 4 of them, 3 and 4, And we got washers. 1, 2. Maybe these are the O-rings I was supposed to use. 2. 3. Doesn't look like I've got all the screws I need in there. Do I have any machine screws in here? Searching for the screws and I'm not seeing them. It's possible that I used a wrong screw somewhere, or I used one out of here when I wasn't supposed to. See, is this the same screw? No, it's not. So this is the same type, it's just silver. It's not exactly the same. It is possible I was supposed to use these O-rings on that thing. .3mm O-rings. They only show them on the inside, not on the outside. So I don't know. And then I only have 2 washers, not 4. At least I've got 4 lock nuts. I don't have any more washers anywhere. Oh yeah, I do. There's one. Have I got a 4th one in here? Oh yeah, got another washer there. So I'm just short on one machine screw. Oh no. I'm looking like I'm short on 1 machine screw. It's the same as that. I'm going to put my same screws in with the same stuff. No, not in there. So I'm going to see if I can rob one from my aluminum parts kit. If I happen to have one in here that's the same. These are all a little bit longer. They're all a little longer. So I did see that one silver one. Where did you go? Where did you go? I saw you, silver boy. This guy here. This guy has the same screw, I believe. No, it's not. This guy. He's the same. He just happens to be silver. He's shiny and he's special. Okay. So, we're going to be going through these holes here. Going like this. Okay. But what I'm going to do, because these are slots and they're not holes, I can get the screw started. This, put a washer on it, put a lock nut, okay, and another one. Actually, I'll get this silver one, why not? Okay, washer. Come on. What have I got a long fingernail for if I can't pick up stuff like that? There we go. And a washer, or a lock nut. Okay. There we go. Okay. Let's do this again. this side. And this. Okay. Fourth one, right in here. And we'll lock it up. Okay, so what's the whole point of doing this? You get these guys on. So I'm going to push my screws down through with the washers and then tuck them in like that. Okay. Get these lock nuts down as tight as I can go. I'm just going to hold it with my finger for now, and I can do this and use a screwdriver to tighten that up. There we go. Okay, let's get that off there. Put it in there. Tighten this one up. Okay, there we go. That one's on. Okay, now do the same thing on this side. Tap it all down. Slide him in just like this. Push it down into place. Okay. Use our Tamiya tool. Like that. Move our screws out of the way so I don't dump them accidentally. Go. One more. All right. That's that. Okay. Now this does have some play to it. It could be why they want the O-rings in there. I suppose you could. I do have two more O-rings. I probably could fit them on there if I really needed to, but I don't think it's that necessary. Okay, so that's that. That's done. They do show you using a pair of pliers to hold the lock nuts. Of course, I just used my Tamiya tool. Now we're going to put our body pegs on, C8 and C5. Okay, off of our C tree. We have two C trees. Okay. C8 and C, or you want C5 and C8. Okay, this is 5 and this is 8. Both, two of each. Now, like I said, I'm not actually going to be running this thing with the dump truck body on it. So, one little thing they're telling me to do here is to cut away the corner of C5. I'm not going to do that because I might need it for my Wild Willie body. So there we go, there's those. Okay, I need, what am I looking for? What screws? It says tapping screw. Tapping screw, 3x10 tapping screw. I think that's going to be the MA2 screws. think so. A 3x10. Why not call it the MA2 like you do in the rest of the manuals? Anyway, we need 4 of those, and I need my truck. Okay, so looking at this, we want to have the front. This is the front, and this is the rear. Okay, so with the truck facing this direction, we want the longer ones in the front, and we've got a square notch on the one side. Well, actually a square notch on both, and so that's just going to go in like this. Okay, and then we're going to use a screw. Grab a screw. Might as well grab 4 of them since we're here. 2, 3, 4. Okay. Put that in there. Tighten that up. There we go. Okay. This one too. I'm actually kind of guessing that that's the longer one that goes in the front. Could be wrong, but that's what it looks like. I wasn't really paying that much attention when I pulled them out of, took them off the sprue on which one was which. That screw in there. That guy going. Okay. Similar fashion. Now they, like I said, they want me to cut the corners on this and kind of bevel it, make that corner shaved off, and I don't know why. So this is going to go on right there on this guy in this position like that. So, sorry, it's going to go in like that. Sorry I got it upside down, but yeah, it's going right there. Okay. Let's put a screw in there. Get that one going. Some of these screws, sorry, I got to do this off camera because I need the leverage to get this thing to actually tighten. Without stripping the screw. On this one too. You guys can see me in the little window, right? Okay. So we got the pins on. Okay, there and there. Bing, bang, and bing and bang on the front. Okay, let's flip our book over and see what's next. Next, they want you to put on the front part and put in a couple of screws. And they show it going in. What are they doing here? Oh, I see what they're doing. Okay, we're going to do that in a sec here. Okay. We're going to take this, and we're going to find those special screws. These guys. This little screw here. This one's going to be fun because it feels like it's not quite a hex. Oh, perfect, perfect. That's going to go in here and here. Now it's funny, they show you put the body on first and then put these in. Well, why not put them in first? You're just giving yourself a headache by installing the yellow part first. There we go. There's one. There's another one here. There we go. There we go. Okay, our pins are in. Now, referring back to my instructions here, we're on the last page almost. Nothing more to install except the body. So, these two hooks are going to go onto these two pins here and here. These two right there. Okay, we got to put that in like this somehow. So we line that up. And what am I hitting? Just like that. Okay. Now these go down. They go back like that. Okay, we grab our dump and we line it up. And our front pins should line up on the dump cart too, just like that. And that's our dump truck. Our big yellow dump. Let's change camera so you can actually see it. There we go, guys. That is it. Just like that. There's our dump truck, guys. All finished. Okay. Now that being said, I have other plans for this guy. This guy is not going to stay a dump truck. He's going to be a Wild Willie. Okay. What is Wild Willie? Well, Wild Willie is this right here. Okay. Wild Willie is a Jeep. And he comes with a body, and I have the body. I bought the body kit. Actually, I bought a Wild Willie too. I got the whole thing because it's for like an extra $70. I could buy the whole Wild Willie kit compared to just buying the Wild Willie body. So why not, right? So he starts off like this. This is Wild Willie himself. Okay, you can buy him separately, or he comes with the kit, and you put the body, you put them together like this. And when you got them all together and you're painting them up all real nice, this is my Wild Willie right here. You like my Willie? I like my Willie. He's going to be, it's an army Jeep, right? So I figured why not paint him up camouflage. I'll show you on the other camera here. Where'd my mouse go? There it is. Okay. Bingo. This is my Wild Willie. This guy right here. This guy started off as that white bunch of plastic, and I painted them all up. He's all ready to go driving in his Jeep. Okay, this guy right there. So he's all ready to go. Oh no, he's hollow. Yeah, that's just the way he is. So that's him. That's Mr. Willie right there, ready to go. Okay, and yeah, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to get him all ready and start working on the body. So I will do that next time. I'll work on the body next time, and we'll see just what it takes to fit the Wild Willie 2 body onto the GF-01 chassis. Okay, and that's what we're going to do next time. So that's where I'm going to leave this one for now. Next time I see you, you'll probably see all the electronics all finished in this one, and we'll go from there. So until next time, hit that like button, hit subscribe, check out my Instagram and my Twitch channel and all that good stuff with all the links down in the description box below. And thanks guys for watching, and thanks for coming out. It's really appreciated. And yeah, I'm happy with this, how it's come along, and yeah, it's going to be fun to drive this thing and really bash it around and see how fast it goes. I will try, you know, I'm not an IRL streamer or anything like that, but I'll see if I can get some video of me actually running this thing out once it's all up and running and stuff like that. We'll see how it all goes. But yeah, so thanks guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you all on the next one.